Students, today we're going to continue our striking unit by using a bat and a ball working on our swinging. Okay, so you might have to become very creative being distance learners. So you obviously could have a bat. I found a wooden stick that's from a hanger rod that I cut off. Could have a pool noodle. And I even came up with the bag for my tripod. I rolled up and realized it is firm enough that I could use that. So you can use your creativity to come up with the bat you would like to use. Could be just a stick out in the yard. Okay? The longer the implement, the more you're probably going to want to use that if you're outside swinging. Probably want a shorter implement so we don't end up hitting a wall or knocking over a lamp or something like that. Okay? Make sure we're always safe and check with our parents to make sure it's something it is okay to do. Alright? And then also you'll need some sort of ball, and we've seen the different balls we've used before, the socks, a balloon, a tape ball, different stuff like that. Alright? And then we're also going to need a tee to set the ball on. So we could use a plastic cup of some sort and set it up on top of something so it's near your waistline. That's where we want the ball to be sitting if we're hitting off of a tee, near our waistline. Okay, I even came up with a little paper tee where I rolled up a piece of paper in like a cylinder, cut the bottom off to make it stand as straight as possible. Make it stand up. Okay, so try and use your creativity to come up with the type of equipment you need to perfect this swinging motion. Okay, so similar to our previous two lessons where we struck with a paddle or with a tennis racket, we start out perpendicular again like we're on our skateboard in a good ready position. The important part here now is we're going to use two hands, so you're going to need to have one hand on top of the other. So if I'm a right-handed hitter, I hit from the right side of the ball, then I want my right hand on top and my elbow slightly out. And my left hand underneath and both hands touching. Another important aspect is how our hands are positioned. So we want to line up our middle knuckles, which are these knuckles here, not the ones towards the top of your fingertips, not the ones near your hands, but the ones that are in the middle. So both hands should have close to a straight line in that. And what that does, that gives us some wrist action so we can hit the ball with a little more power. Okay, so ready position is the first thing we got to keep in mind. Okay, so on our skateboard, hands up by our ears, hand position is correct. If we're right-handed, right hand on the top. Otherwise, if we're left-handed, then we want to have our left hand on the top. So we're not hitting cross-handed because we don't have that action with our hands to snap, what we call snap our wrists. Okay, so good ready position, number one. Number two, once we're in our ready position, we want to have good weight transfer, which means we start with our weight back and we move our weight forward. We might step just a little bit and move our weight forward. Okay, so transfer that weight. And then next is eye on the ball. So keep our eye right on the ball, or in this case the balloon. We want to try and hit right behind it. So we're looking at that point to bring our hands right to that point, swinging slightly downward. Okay, and that's our next step, swinging. Make sure we're level to slightly downward coming through the ball. Okay, swing level, slightly downward. Right, and then lastly, once we've hit the ball, we follow through by turning our shoulders and our hips, like in our tennis yesterday, tennis striking, and then finish our swing coming around. Okay, and then once you've thought about that and walked through those 5 steps in your mind, then I want you to practice some repetitions. When we line up with the ball, one thing we should do, like in tennis, is have the ball near our front foot. Okay, so perpendicular near our front foot. And then all I want you to do is practice swinging through. Good position, good hand position. Step, rotate, transfer your weight, and swing through. Okay? Or if we want to use a pool noodle in our cup, get up there, and again, good body position, perpendicular, feet slightly apart, good hand position, up above our shoulder and our ear, good hand position, good knuckle position, and then weight back, step, and swing through. Okay, weight back, step through, trying to hit right behind the ball. That time I got on top, so I want to try and hit it more cleanly right behind it. So we got to drop our hand right down on top of it, swinging right down and through. Practice that 10, 15 times. If you'd like, you may want to try the left side, especially if we haven't done a lot of hitting, to see which side might be better for you to swing. Whichever way is more comfortable is the one you want to continue to practice. Okay, so those are our 5 basic steps for swinging through a ball. Okay, you can try, if off of a tee is very easy and you've played a lot of baseball, you could just toss the ball up to yourself in a more challenging manner, but make sure our hand is in position, already in good position. So all we got to do is place our bottom hand on it and then swing as the balloon drops. So we toss it up in the air and hit. Toss it as high as you need to give you time to prepare your hand and your body to swing correctly. So start perpendicular. Remember to toss the ball up in front of your front foot, and then place your hand and swing. Okay, so you choose either on the tee or tossing it in the air. All right, so go ahead and practice that a bunch of times, and then in our later video I'll have a little game you can play. All right, call it exercise baseball. Have a great lesson.